Nithyananda, I welcome you all from a space of eternal bliss, and that's what the Nithyanandam refers to. Today, I wanted to share with you one of the incidents that happened in my life. You see Swamiji's photograph in the background, and you might wonder, hey, why do I have Swamiji in the background? And you may have seen others as well. And what's this with him, right? We can understand having someone whom you're inspired by, but why such an extreme extent? Hopefully the story will give you a little bit of an insight of why this has been for us and why it's been so powerful and the transformation we have experienced through Swamiji. And that's the reason why I have him in my heart, in my background, and everywhere possible. So the story that I wanted to share with you was related actually to a two-day workshop that Swamiji had conducted called End Relationships. This was about 4+ years ago. And my wife and I both attended that workshop. And it was quite a powerful one. And this was one of the specific stories from that which I wanted to share. As part of it, one of the things Swamiji asked us to do was to analyze, wherever we have issues with our relationship and look at it fairly objectively and really analyze it very deeply. And so I took on, I have two kids, and my daughter at that time was about, say, 7 years old. And I'd always felt that since she was born, that I had never been a good parent. And that was something that, would come up many times and always left me feeling sort of incomplete, not sure what to do. And really, you sort of ignore it at times, so then you're like, okay, maybe this is what it is supposed to be, or try and justify it, and just feel miserable at other times. So I took that up, and very much in his energy space, we started doing this process, and I really looked at it and saying, okay, how would I define me being a good parent? So I thought, okay, there's a quantitative aspect to it and a qualitative aspect to it. So I looked at the quantitative side of it, and the first measure that really came up was about the amount of time I spent with my kids. So I actually literally wrote down how much time I spent with them every day and assessed, and I thought maybe about an hour and a half or so in the mornings and about 3.5 hours in the evening. So about 4 hours or so on a weekday. And on a weekend, probably 8 to 9 hours of real time that I was spending with them. And I thought, okay, what if I double the time? Would that make me feel that I'm a better parent? And putting my hand on my heart, I realized that really that would not change how I really felt about them and about me being a good parent. So I said, okay, so let's look now at the qualitative aspect. And one of the most difficult things I had was, okay, what would be a qualitative measure of me being a good parent and or not being being a bad parent also, right? And I sort of looked back and thought about all the times when I felt that I was being a good parent. And very quickly, the answer that came, something I'd never thought of before, but it happens very often in Swamiji's energy space, is the answer came very, very clearly, is that whenever I spent doing an activity that they enjoyed, that's when I felt that I was being a good parent. And for me, that was a very deep revelation to realize that the 7 years of guilt, pressure, etc. that I had built up of not being a good parent and wondering what I could do with them, etc., completely just vanished by me realizing that, hey, just me doing an activity that they enjoyed doing is all it would take for me to get rid of this whole burden that I was carrying of not being a good parent. And it was just an amazing breakthrough. And really after that, once I implemented it with this awareness, it completely changed how I felt about my relationship with them, how they related to me. And it's just been a beautiful, beautiful journey of growing and expanding as a parent and as a father to my children. And I don't know, I think there's no words that I can say that I can put in as to what that's worth and what that's meant for me. It has completely, that one thing I can talk about. There are so many hundreds of things that I can talk about, but just this one thing which I wanted to share today, which has completely transformed my life. To a point where today, both my kids study in Swamiji's Gurukul in Bangalore while I'm living in Singapore with my wife. It happened maybe a few months ago. I was missing my daughter for some reason, right? Really unknown reason. And when I spoke to her, I shared with her, Shambhava, I'm missing you. How do I think about it? And she said, "Why are you missing me, Papa? I am in you, you're in me. So what's there to miss?" And I'm telling you, that was such a beautiful thing to hear from her. And it left me feeling so fulfilled and complete that I'm telling you, that was just an amazing, amazing reminder of how powerful they are, how powerful I can be and continue to be. And it really made it such a beautiful experience for me, and felt so proud of my daughter and of myself as a parent. And to realize that that's the best thing I could have done for them, is to have them be in his breathing space. So that's just a story I wanted to share. And I really request you that if you have any such concerns that you are dealing with in your life, I'd love to share more, talk about the process of completion, all the techniques Swamiji has taught us, and also the process and how we can move beyond that and lead very, very powerful lives. So, feel free to reach out. We can set up a session and do that, and really share in a very, very powerful way how Swamiji is really transforming the world, for each one of us to lead very, very powerful lives wherever we are and not be stuck in any shape or form. So I look forward to hearing from you, comments, feedback, questions, and taking it from there. Thank you for your listening, and look forward to talking again. Nithyanandam.